Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're most definitely welcome, and if you are a regular an individual which is my channel each and every now and again, welcome back sis, welcome back to the Dollies gang. Yes, I am back again with another video. So yeah, I have been reading the comment section and I've had a lot of people saying, can you please show us how you do your makeup? We need a makeup tutorial. We need to know how you do your makeup. So I thought, why not finish up the video that I just posted previously while I do my makeup, because I honestly don't want to do a whole makeup tutorial and not be talking. Yes, as you can see, this is me without the makeup. I've got my mirror over here. I've got another mirror over here. So if you see me looking either way, just know that I am trying to, you know, use both the mirrors to see if everything is all right. So we're just gonna finish up that story time about my Norwegian ex. By the way, I've got a candle burning. This is from Carol and Charlene. It smells so good. Definitely check it out. They are on Instagram. I'm gonna put their handle right here so that you guys can check them out. They sent me these candles a long time ago. These candles last, guys. I burn these candles every now and again, and honestly they still here. Already I have done my eyebrows because it's a little bit hard for me to do my eyebrows on camera, especially because I've got microblading in, so it's kind of pointless. I just follow my microblading and make it darker, so there's nothing special that I do. I've also already used micellar water. This is micellar water from L'Oreal. I'm not sure if they have it in South Africa. I bought this in Europe during my last trip in Europe, and I have been using this baby. I've also moisturized my face with my daily moisturizer from Demelin. This is what I use, guys. I'm just saying all of this because I feel like the base is very important. It's gonna tell how your makeup is gonna look at the end of the day. And then I've also gone in with the primer. This is obviously from Maybelline. I am not an expensive hun when it comes to makeup. I use Maybelline. Right now we're gonna continue with the story. I have my lip gloss on. This is the one that is from Khanyisa range with Mr. Price. I absolutely love it. It's delicious. Let us go in with my foundation. I am in the shade 360 under the Fit Me range. Anyway, let's continue with the story right now. So I was still saying that she was staying with this old man, and this old man had a lot of money. He had a lot of money because obviously he was old. He's been working all his life, and she just wanted to get out of the whole situation of staying in that place, which is a refugee camp. Actually, funny enough, she was staying in the refugee camp with her mother and her siblings, but when she moved to this guy's house, she moved by herself. And so yeah, that's besides the point. That's not important to my story. What's important to my story is that this girl became frenzy with me. Actually, what happened was that my boyfriend at the time, my ex from Norway, he was actually telling me a lot about this girl before I got to Norway, and eventually he like put us in contact with each other. So we were speaking on WhatsApp. I had her on WhatsApp, and she followed me on Instagram, and I followed her back. Everything was cool, things were cute. Until I went to Norway the first time. I'm gonna tell you what happened both the first time and the second time, right? So what happened the first time was that we went out with them, as in her and her boyfriend. Okay, let me tell you from the get-go, from how the first day that I met her. So remember, I went to Norway on the I left South Africa on the 27th of December 2022, and I got stuck in Trondheim for a few days because it took me 3 days to get to Norway. If you follow me and you know that vlog, you know that it took me that long to get to Norway. So I got to Norway on the 31st of December, and it was my, you know, my ex's birthday on that day. and we had to celebrate. And you know, it's also New Year's Eve, people are there to celebrate. We were super excited, all of us. And we got there, she was hosting, well, they were hosting a New Year's Eve party, right? So it was not just us, it was just like a whole bunch of other people as well, his friends, especially the guy's friends. Because my ex, one thing you don't know about him was that he had just moved to that area, so he didn't have a lot of friends. She was one of his, well, only friends that were in that area. So it was her and the ex-wife in that area that were friends with him. And so we went to their house. Let's give this girl's name Rachel, and we're gonna give the guy's name, her boyfriend, we're gonna name him Rich. Nah, Rich has been used. We're gonna name him Brian. I hope I don't forget. So she is Rachel and the guy is Brian, right? My ex, we're just gonna call him my ex, you know. And so we go to Brian and Rachel's house. Everything is great, guys. I had one of the best nights of my life. I'll share some pictures over here and videos if I still have, because we were dancing all night. At midnight we went outside to watch the fireworks, because we were not doing any of the fireworks stuff. We had such an amazing time. I remember, because I was literally coming from South Africa, and South Africa was summer at the time, so I didn't have like much winter clothes. And so she gave me one of her hats in order to take a picture, because I think my ex bought me a hat. When he fetched me at the airport, he got me a hat and a scarf, but I really, honestly, it wasn't my style, so I really didn't wear it when we went out that night. So she lent me her hat, and that was cool. And then we had a great time, obviously New Year's, and we had just met, we got drunk, everybody was dancing, everybody was comfortable around each other. There was nothing that, you know, was like, you know, red flag or anything like that. Cool, sharp. So that's the end of the night. And then we're like, oh my gosh, we had so much fun that night, let us make other plans, you know, let us meet up for a night out this time around. Because they were like, let us show you Moirana, like let's show you how we party in Moirana. And in my mind I was like, your old man, honey, your old man, is he gonna be able to like party? But then I was surprised when we got to the pub. It wasn't necessarily a pub, it was a restaurant first, because we went out to have dinner first, and then like we had our dinner. And I'll insert pictures over here if I do have the pictures, because I think I didn't take much pictures. I think I took pictures of myself. We were having so much fun, you guys. It was just that situation where we started downing some Jägermeisters. It was like oomph, oomph, oomph. I'm like, more shots, more shots, more shots, keep them coming, keep them coming. Guys, we cared less. I was surprised. That old man, he was actually coming on that particular day. He was actually coming from his checkup, because apparently he's got a risk of getting cancer, or he had cancer, I'm not sure. But then he had like these bandages here, either here or here. I think it was here. Yeah, it was here, because he had that plaster thing. And I'm like, you know what, how long have you had that plaster thing? When are you gonna take it off? Because it looked like we were chilling with a patient, and to me it just looked wrong, like drinking with someone that is sick. And you could see when you look at his skin, because he's so old, his skin was like looking so fragile, and like, you know, that kind of skin that looks like you can peel it off, like if you touch him it's just gonna break. He was giving me that vibe. And he also had those, you know, I think I've spoken about it on one of my previous videos, when I went on a date with a guy, and he was so old that he had those brown spots all over his body. He also had that vibe. So honestly, I'm not attracted to that. Nothing wrong with that. To each their own. If you like that, you like that, but I don't. So, but then I was kind of, you know, nice to him, because I mean, he was my friend's boyfriend, and we were chilling together, so there was nothing I could do, you know. And so the night goes on and we get drunk. We get drunk and we start like now club hopping, because that restaurant, it felt like, nah, it's not doing it. So we need somewhere where there's a dance floor. We need to groove. And if you've been to European bars, you know, especially the villages, because we were not in a big city. Like, it was a city, but it was like more like a village type of small, like it was that small. It was like more like a village to me, because it wasn't really, it didn't have that, you know, many clubs. It didn't have like that type of clubs. So where we were going, it was like more of pubs and, you know, bars. So we club hopped into the next bar. So as we get to that bar, because we downed a lot of Jägermeisters, I am getting drunk. And I noticed that I'm getting drunk, and I'm like, you know what, I want to go home. My ex is like, no, let's not go home yet. Oh, and by the way, before we left that first club, I'm going in with a powder from Revlon. This is just a light powder. It gives me banana powder vibes. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually changing my makeup into banana. Yeah. So before we leave that first restaurant, I saw this man. Apparently he was a smoker back in the days, and I asked for his gum. He popped a gum and I asked for it, and nobody told me that these gums are not normal gums. They're actually nicotine gums. So I took one, I chewed it like 2 or 3 times. I thought it was absolutely disgusting, and I just spit it immediately. And then after that we left. We went to this other, you know, pub. I started feeling nauseous. Apparently it was because of that gum. And then I told my ex I am not feeling too well, and then he's like, okay. So I decided to sit down, and I sit down on a chair, because okay, I'll show you a picture of myself that night. We were sitting in one of those areas where there's a couch and there are chairs. So I go on to sit on the chair. There were 2 chairs and a couch. So my ex sits on the couch, and then my ex-friend, well, his female friend, she sits on the couch, and then I sit on the chair, and then her ex is sitting, her boyfriend is sitting right next to me on the chair. He's on the side. I don't know why they were doing that. Like, okay, I came and sat first. I thought my ex was gonna sit there, but the girl decided to come and sit next to me, so he had no choice but to sit opposite me. So then as I'm sitting there, I am losing it. I'm like getting super nauseous. I'm like, yo, I need the bathroom. I start like, you know, pausing because I'm trying to hold this nausea in. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really hope I don't throw up. So I'm not even thinking of anything else. And because I was nauseous, I think I might have touched the guy's thigh, like not even thinking about it. Like my mind was not even there. I was just thinking about how nauseous I am and how I need. Actually, speaking of that nausea, I'm even getting nauseous right now. So my mind was out of it. Honestly, I don't know if I was wrong to do that, but I mean, I was not even, you know, touchy or anything like that. I literally just, I don't know how my hand landed there. Like, you know, when you're just like sick and you're trying to do this, that's how I was. And nobody said anything. Everything seemed normal. And then this is important, hey? This is important for later. So I told my ex, please order an Uber, we need to go. So he ordered an Uber, and by the way, this was after he ordered champagne. So he was kind of pissed off because he bought the champagne in the club. It was super expensive, and I only drank 1 sip, and I'm like, let's go, because I am not having it right now. I don't want to end up throwing up in front of people. So we left. Luckily we took our champagne with, but we left the club. Yo, and then when we got home, by the way, yo, I threw up so badly. Like, I got so sick and I threw up and blacked out that night. He had to put me in the shower to shower me, and like I was just off. I was out. Like ever since that day I haven't had much alcohol because I'm still traumatized. Like I can't. By the way, I'm using my Fit Me powder. It is just a normal powder from Fit Me in the shade Deep Golden. This is so rare to find. If you're my shade, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to buy this online because that's what I had to do. I couldn't find it in any store. Let's continue. I got sick. He had to shower me and put me in the bedroom. I woke up the next morning. I didn't even remember what happened last night. I'm like, what happened last night? He's like, you got sick. You got sick and you were throwing up all over the place. I even threw up on the rug in the living room. It was so bad. Like, it was so bad. We had to take the whole carpet to the dry cleaners because honestly in Norway it was never gonna dry because that place is just extremely cold. And then so in the morning I wake up and I see my ex is on a call, like he's on a long phone call, and I ask him, you know, when I wasn't like really asking him like loud, I was like whispering, who are you speaking to, you know? And then he's like, Rachel, I'm speaking to Rachel. And I can tell that the conversation is a little bit off. It's not normal, like the normal conversations that they usually have, because they usually speak about business. They usually, you know, ask about me and how I'm doing and all of that. And I'm wondering, why is she asking him about me? Why can't she ask me directly now, like what's happening? And then eventually after like about 2 hours or an hour and a half, he hangs up the call and he tells me that she says I was flirting with her boyfriend last night. Honestly, I was so shocked. I'm like, what? What? Flirting with her boyfriend? How? That old man? On top of it, I have the hottest nigga in the group. Why would I even be flirting with her boyfriend? Guys, I'm so sorry. I need to remove this. I hate this. So what I do is that I have to go back in with the foundation. Well, apparently now I was flirting with that old man and I was shocked. I was shocked. So my boyfriend was like, you know what? She can say whatever she wants, but I honestly don't believe that you were flirting with this man. Luckily my man was on my side. He was like, I never saw any of that. And apparently the poor guy, he was saying no, nothing like that happened. But obviously she's the one that was saying everything. So she was like the crazy person in the group that was like making accusations. But then we were like, you know what, it's fine. She was like, I think I don't want to be friends with you guys anymore because of this that happened. I'm like, you know what, I don't care. Like, she's in a whole different country. She's Ukrainian. I'm from South Africa. I really don't need her. So I really didn't give a damn what she had to say. I was just like, she's a crazy person, and if she's gonna be giving me crazy, then I really don't need her in my life, because I don't like drama. I despise drama with all of me. Like, I hate drama and I hate dramatic people, and I also, on top of it, I hate liars. Like, why are you lying? You could see that I was literally getting sick and you come up with something so crazy. Like, why would I even want your man, your old man, on top of it? And I'm like, okay, she can do whatever she wants. I don't care. So then my ex ended up, you know, speaking to her and telling her that, you know what, nothing of that happened. And eventually they were like, you know what, let us plan a dinner, because you guys came to our house for New Year's Eve. We are gonna come to your house for this dinner. And in my mind, I'm like, this is gonna be one of the most awkward dinners ever. Is it necessary? No. But did it happen? Yes. And so they came to our house. At first, I told you guys she's a pretty girl, and she never used to like wear any makeup and stuff like that. But on that particular day, she came wearing makeup or dressed up, or like, she's a very simple girl. She is pretty without even trying. So she came guns blazing this time around, and I'm like, okay, what point are you trying to prove? Because this is crazy. She was just looking crazy for a dinner that's happening in our house. Like, she was dressed the up. She was dressed like she's going to a club. And I'm like, you know what, maybe this is her style. Maybe this is how they do it in Ukraine. When they go to people's houses, they dress up. I really didn't care, honestly, because there was nothing on my side. I didn't have any issues with anybody. She's the one that had issues with me because she thought I wanted her man. And so we had so much fun that night. And so they came in, we had a games night. We played different types of games. Some I don't even remember, honestly, because my ex had like lots and lots of games. He even had Scribble. It was fun. Even had 30 seconds. But then the problem was that there was a bit of a language barrier from the guy's side, from Brian's side. So playing 30 seconds was a bit challenging because the guy is an older generation of Norwegian people. And if you know anything about European people that are much older, most of them can't speak English all that well because they are used to speaking their native languages. That's why if you find an old man from Europe, just know that he's going to be struggling with the English. His English is not going to be all that great. But then the younger generation, though, they know English because they learn a lot of English these days. So my boyfriend knows English. My boyfriend knew English, like proper English, because he went to school in England. Someone was asking me about this blush. It's from Yardley. The shade is Anna Apple. So yeah, in case you were asking. This, I feel like, is the one thing that makes my makeup pop. Without the blush, this makeup was not going to give. We played 30 seconds for a bit, but it didn't work out, and then we decided to go for another option. I think we ended up playing Monopoly or something like that. It was fun. It was great, you know. There was nothing awkward. Everything was going fine. And then in the end, they said goodbye and they left. Next morning, I get another call. Not me, my ex gets another call, and he's on the phone again for hours, and I'm like, you know what, this is not on. This is not on. I don't like this at all, because every time after we have a fun night, she goes and complains about me. Like, I was wondering, now, are you insecure? Do you have a problem with me? Like, what is going on? Because every time we have these dinner parties or we meet up, there's always an issue. So I'm like, I really can't do this anymore. It's a bit too much. So then I told him, you know what, I don't mind you guys being friends, but honestly, I want to exclude myself. I'm just using this to clean up my nose contour. I'm gonna exclude myself from this whole situation because every time it seems like there's nothing right that I do. And this time around was crazy because I didn't even know what I did wrong. So what I did is that I went to Instagram, I unfriended her, and then I went on to my WhatsApp and I blocked the out of her number. Because I honestly, when you have drama, I cancel you. And that was that. I never spoke to her until I left Norway at the time. And then that was that. So last year, July, I went to Norway. I went back to Norway. And of course it was summer on their side. So we were out playing. Things were great between my ex and I, but not too great because we had lots of arguments, especially regarding the other lady that I discussed before this video. And if you haven't watched that video, please do go and watch so that you can understand what's really going on in this one. And so obviously, because my ex and this woman were still friends, he suggested that maybe we should, you know, link up and, you know, make up and forgive each other. And yeah, that was that. It was cool. And so we decided to meet up at their place. So when we meet up at their place, they were hosting us. You know, everything was nice. Like, it was a bit, you know, I was holding off a bit when I heard that we were going to their house. But I was like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with going to their house. because it's a safe space, and if things don't work out, then no money is wasted by paying unnecessary bills or people walking out from bills and all of that. So I'm like, you know what, that's fine, let's go to their house. Of course, they cooked, the food was great. Because I said to you guys, she's such a hyper person, she was hyper as usual, and nothing seemed awkward. Thank God that things seemed normal. And so we honestly had a great time up until she decided that she wanted to show me her new bag. She had just gotten a Chanel bag from this man, and she decided, you know what, I want to show you. I don't know what her intentions were when it came to showing me this bag. Guys, sorry, my eyeliner is finished, so I'm just trying to get it to come down. And so I'm like, I don't know what her intentions are when it comes to showing me this bag, but I will have a look at it. And it was a Chanel bag, a Chanel classic, one of the small ones though, not a big one, but it was cute. And so as she gives me the bag, she smells it, she's like, oh my gosh, I love this bag, have a look. Okay, so she did this, have a look. So I have a look at the bag, and because she smelled the bag, I also naturally would smell the bag, because I'm thinking, okay, she's smelling the leather to see if it's genuine. I don't know why she was smelling the bag, but I'm like, okay, whatever she did, I also just want to smell the bag. I take the bag, I smell it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I've never seen one of these in person before, because honestly, which is the truth, I had never seen a Chanel bag in person. And so she takes the bag back, everything was fine, and then we hugged goodbye. Hi Bosana. The next morning, again my ex receives a call again. I'm like, there's absolutely no way, she's toxic. And there I decided, you know what, I don't want this woman in my life. I don't want to associate with this woman ever again, because this time around what she was saying is that I am a weirdo for smelling her bag. Like the same bag that you just smelled before you gave it to me. I'm like, you know what, I could never do anything right in the eyes of this woman. So I made a decision there and there that I really don't need her in my life, because she's toxic, and she's not only toxic, she's also full of shit. And I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I cut her off again, because I had honestly considered refriending her on Instagram and unblocking her on WhatsApp. Thank God she couldn't even wait for a few weeks before she did her nonsense again. So I really didn't have to, you know, do anything. I just decided, you know what, it's done. This is it. I stop right here. I can't tolerate toxic people anymore. And because of these whole fights with this woman and this couple, my ex started also being insecure a bit, like, what is wrong, why can't you get along with my friends, and a few more other things, other personal issues that we already had in our relationship, because honestly our relationship wasn't perfect. We had our own problems, so on top of it, now it's friendship problems. And so eventually things became a little bit more toxic than they were supposed to between me and my ex, and that's why we ended up breaking up when we went to Ireland. And that is how the relationship ended up. Honestly, by the time we broke up, it had nothing to do with his friends, but I feel like these little events, they contributed quite a bit when it came to the well-being of our relationship. So just like that, the relationship was it became toxic, it became unhealthy, and so we decided to end things. This is just the Maybelline setting spray. If you've been watching my channel for a bit, you know that's my favorite. And so because of all of that, we decided, you know what, the relationship is not worth it. Let us just let it go. We're very cordial. We didn't have a big fight during the breakup. It was definitely mutual. The breakup was mutual. He has tried to get me back a couple of times, but I feel like right now is not the right time for him and I to get back together, because I am in a better space. I don't feel like being in a relationship with him anymore. Yeah. And by the way, about his ex-girlfriend from Colombia, he came back and told me that she added him on Facebook, because I think he blocked her like all over social media. So she searched him and found him on Facebook, and after finding him on Facebook, she told him that she is now engaged. Like, she just basically searched him just so that she could tell him that she's engaged. How toxic is she? Like, I've never seen such a toxic human being. Like, why do you have to announce to your ex that you are now engaged, unless if you have unresolved issues with your ex? So that made me realize that maybe, just maybe, she had issues with me because she still, you know, wanted the guy. She still had hopes that their relationship was gonna, you know, flourish, and she had hopes that she's still gonna go back to Norway. And by the way, speaking of leaving clothes, she also left clothes at his place. I chucked them out. I chucked them out when I was in Norway the second time. I hope he told her that her clothes are no longer there. So yeah, I hope he told her. I hope she knows that her clothes are gone. They're gone. Like, I literally put them in the bin. I'm that crazy. I was not having it. I was not having it. She was quite unhappy about that, I guess. If she's been told, I'm pretty sure she'll be like very upset. I really hope he told her, because I really love it when she's upset, because she made my life a living hell. She and her friends made my life a living hell, so they deserve it. They don't deserve any form of peace whatsoever. I hope you like the makeup. Y'all saw how I do my makeup. It's nothing special. It's products that you can also afford to buy. I feel like the biggest secret here was the Revlon yellow powder. It's pressed powder, and also the blush. And also lining the lips with Kayam's thing. I honestly don't like the lipstick that Kayam's released, so I just line my lips because I absolutely love the color of my natural lips. So I just line them and then put the lip gloss on. So I love the two products except for the lip gloss. And the only reason I don't like the lip gloss is because I feel like I'm too dark for that shade. I'm a bit too dark, so I actually prefer just using it like this, just the lip liner and the lip gloss. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, I really love your highlighter. No, I don't use highlighter. As you can see, there's no highlighter on site. It is just me, my oils, my natural oils, and yeah, a contour here and there. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe down below. From me to you, it's only love. Bye.